Hey, Thomas, welcome to the show.
Hi, Todd. How are you doing?
Very good. I want to introduce everybody to the show. This is Thomas Libero from Italy, my friend from Italy. Great musician. Everybody has to check out his music. Welcome, Thomas.
Thank you. And I love how you said my name, because nobody say it right. Because okay, Thomas is an American name, is an English name, but my second name is Libero.
Libero.
Yes.
Okay. We got it right.
You're good in learning
languages, the musical ears.
Yeah. And I think you speak a little Italian.
Poquito.
Yeah, that's right.
Great. Well, welcome to the show, and thank you for being here today. We've been wanting to do this for a long time, and well, let's just tell the people what it is that you do, and yeah, everything.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Sure.
You know, I'm a big fan of your show.
Thank you.
Since I saw you in your first interviews with all the rock stars, like Blaze Bailey, Timo, and then I saw your Todd GOLDFINGER show, which I think is amazing. And yeah, for me, it's really it's an honor to be here. And it's great because I started following you as a fan, and now I'm inside your show, so it's great.
Welcome.
It's like a little dream come true. So it's a proof that if you really believe in something, you're gonna get it. You know, if you really want something, you get it, bad or good.
It's true. Very true.
Sometimes I think we are focused too much on the bad things. That's why we attract a lot of bad things. So anyway, without getting into deep stuff, in the beginning, so soon. Well, I'm a musician. I'm a songwriter. I'm a singer. I'm a guitar player. I'm a bass player. I try to play a little bit of everything.
Multi-instrumentalist.
Yeah. Multi-instrumentalist, but not multi-talented.
Well, you're a singer-songwriter. I see you as a singer-songwriter, somebody who's really like the Bon Jovi of Padua, of Italy.
Yeah. You're not the first to tell me that. Because, I don't know, probably because of my appearance too. I don't know. My voice sounds a little bit like John's voice, but I've never, a lot of people take for granted that I love Bon Jovi and I'm a big fan of Bon Jovi, which is true, but I'm not a fanatic, a diehard fan of Bon Jovi. I love the band, I love the music, but my favorite band is Kiss. And I grew up listening to Kiss and having Paul Stanley as my idol, not John Bon Jovi. The Bon Jovi thing came up when I was younger and I started singing, and people started to see some similarities between me and John, the younger John Bon Jovi, because now he's a totally different kind of singer. And yeah, I like when people tell me that I'm the Italian Bon Jovi, because I wish to have 1% of his success. And Italy is not famous for the rock scene like the United States.
But there are some great singers out there, like was it Vasco? What was his name?
Yeah. I remember you like Vasco Rossi. Which is strange because here in Italy, rockers don't like Vasco Rossi. they like the musicians because he he always had a lot of great musicians
Yeah.
from the US too, like Steph Burns, Dean Castronovo, uh, a lot of. I think that Vinny Colaiuta played on some records of Vasco Rossi, but the rockers, the average rockers here
Mhm.
are not fan of Vasco Rossi.
Hmm.
In fact, if you go to stadiums seeing um, Vasco and his band, you you're gonna you're gonna see a lot of normal people, not rockers or true metalhead.
Everyday people.
Yeah, which is great because I think that if rock music reaches the masses, is the best thing. I'm not one of those artists that you know hate that rock music or metal music is becoming mainstream. Because
Yeah.
let's face it, it will never become mainstream like pop music.
Are you sure?
Because
I mean,
once,
Metallica
yes,
did it.
yeah, yes, but I think that at some point, Metallica, Kiss, Bon Jovi, the Ramones, and other bands became so successful that they are not a band anymore. They're a brand.
Mm-hmm.
So they become instantly a pop act, like Guns N' Roses. I always fight with everybody because um, maybe they say, "Oh, I don't like Vasco Rossi because he is pop. He's not a rocker." I listen to Metallica, Guns N' Roses, and I always say, "Well, you're listening to pop acts too, because they are brands." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. They're an institution. They become bigger than
Yeah,
even that. I mean, when you can go to H&M and buy a Ramones t-shirt, I mean,
yeah.
it's like,
Which is sad because Ramones weren't. Ramones wasn't so big at the time.
no, they weren't. They weren't. I mean, they were like an underground band. I mean, in New York City, and they had the punk aesthetic, and for me, this is one of the great bands, the greatest bands to come out of New York is the
Yeah,
Ramones, I think.
and
And
you're lucky because you're a New Yorker, right?
no, I'm in Guadalajara right now, but I
No,
grew up
no,
in New
but
York.
yeah. From? I
I'm
don't
from New
remember.
York.
Yeah, but which are you
So
from? The
okay.
center?
I'm from the suburbs, actually, 1 hour north of where all that action happened.
Ah, okay.
The
Because
birthplace of Ramones and New York Dolls and all
yeah,
that stuff was like 1 hour away. But I was born in '79, so I missed. I was just at the tail end of that, but I
yeah.
didn't get to see it.
New York is so big.
It is. It
So you're
is.
talking about a city, but probably your city, New York, is bigger than my era.
Well, you know what it is?
So,
It's compact. It's like everything is sort of stacked on top of each other. That's why they just keep building up,
yeah,
and it's like a large density of people in a very small area. And I would say where I'm from is the suburbs. So it's like where people tried to get away from the city or have a different life. There's more nature
okay.
and things like that. Of course, these things get built up. And anyway, but the point of the story is, I'm not from the city. I'm from the suburbs. But I think all this great stuff I got to experience when I was about 15, 16, 17, playing in a band called Spinning Images, and I have them on my website. It's worth checking out. Spinning Images. Anyway,
Right.
so that band was really pivotal because I was 15 years old and I was producing the albums with the band. The first two CDs that we made, it was because I had an uncle who was helping with the production. He knew how to do all the stuff, and that's how we got the first two albums made. The third album never got released, and then anyway, we had there's a lot of the band could have gone huge and could have gone really big. Maybe you've had a better name or something. Who knows? Anyway, but we were happy with what we were doing. We made albums and we played CBGBs several
Wow.
times. Okay, and played all over the city. And this was like 16, 17, and playing New York City. So like I got to do all of this, and this was really really great. So I had that. And there were hundreds of people coming to the shows as well. They rented buses, so a lot of our friends from upstate were taking the bus, taking like a school bus. They rented a giant school bus
Wow.
and took it down to the city with a keg on the back. And people were getting wild. I mean, I think in one gig they smashed the toilet. They were really wild. So like every time we came to the city, we had this following with us, and so clubs and promoters were really impressed with us. They're like, "How did you do this?" And we were just very lucky at a very early age, and that was Spinning Images.
I think that it's not a matter of luck. I think
it was a lot of hard work, but we didn't realize it at the time.
Because the harder you work, the luckier you get.
Yeah, I mean, I got to meet Dio twice because of it.
So incredible! I can't believe it. But did you open the show?
We opened for Nevermore and bands like that at the time. Nevermore, it was like 97, 96, 97, 98 was when we were like doing our thing. And 97, 98 was when we were really cooking. And then we were playing at a place called The Chance. And that's where I got to meet Dio twice. And every time I met him, I got to talk to him for like an hour and a half every time I met him. So that's why I got inspired to do these kinds of shows, because I thought, okay, it's easy to talk to people and I can listen, and it's always a great interchange. So I got inspired by the Dio conversations actually into doing these kinds of shows, really.
Yeah, every person in the business always says the same thing, that Ronnie was a great person, was a sweet guy, an incredible human being. I never heard someone says Dio is an asshole or something like that. Only that he had those problems with David Campbell. Not David Campbell. The name.
Oh right, Vivian Campbell.
Vivian Campbell.
Right.
The guitar player. But I think that it's a business question. It's something related to the business.
His wife was doing a lot of the management. She was the manager, and so like bands always had problems when the wife was the manager. Like that was sometimes an issue. A lot of times, especially with Ozzy and all of them. And so people were saying that he could have had a lot more success and this and that had he a different manager or this and that. But I felt very honored because when I was 17 or 18, I met him at the Chance. He actually gave me his address. He wrote his address on one of the records and says, "Send me a demo." But at this point, I wasn't together enough to really have a great. I mean, I was already playing great, but like I had a cassette tape. Like I couldn't make like a quality recording of like what I was doing at the time, and yeah.
And it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy as nowadays.
Right now, you can just get a computer and you got all the programs, the Cubase, the whatever, the Pro Tools. And the interface, and you're set and ready to go. And that brings us to now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because when nowadays when someone send me his demos, and I listen to the demos, and I think, is this a demo? Because the production and the quality is so high that you can run the risk of falling in love with the demo, and then getting disappointed when you listen to the actual recording, which is something that happened to me when I was working with a band here, Mr. Riot, and we did all the pre-production of our record, and then when we went to the recording studio, I was, satisfied with the results of the records, the recordings. And after the mixing and the mastering, I didn't like the record because it sounded too fake.
Too polished.
Too polished. But in some ways fake too, because you know the drums in metal, you have uh, this thing that you have to hear the drums very big, very loud in your face, and it's impossible to replicate these drums in a live situation. You have to put triggers and stuff like that. So I don't know. Probably I would be happier if we all, you know, have lived in the 80s and the 70s better, because it was all about the music.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. There's something I want to ask you. Do you have your guitar with you?
No, I haven't any. I haven't any instrument here.
Okay. So, well, what we're gonna have to do next time is have you play. We're gonna have to have you
Yeah,
play, and I have a song that I want you to hear, and I have to get it from the studio that I want to send to you to see if you'd sing on it, and not just sing on it in English, but maybe also sing it in Italiano.
cool.
So we can
So
definitely
you
do
will
that. Yeah,
become a big star here.
I hope so. Everywhere. It has to be in many. It has to be in many languages.
Yeah, cool. Well, it's true. It's a right, you know, concept, because if you are not making it in the United States, try to South America. If you're not making it in South America, try Russia. If you're not making it in Russia, try Japan. The world is so big.
Right, and we got the internet,
Yeah, yeah.
so
Which
anything
is
is
something
possible.
that,
Yeah.
yes, internet was missing in the 70s and the 80s. So I think there are a lot of bad things about the internet, but a lot of good things too.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
we must focus on the, you know, good things.
Yeah, I
And I'm
believe so.
telling you that being a very, you know, negative person, because I'm I'm always trying to push the other people, you know, giving their best, seeing themselves as the best people in the world. But I'm trying to face it anyway, because I'm not so, I don't know how to say it, but I'm not so sure of my abilities, or you know, I have
Maybe
not
you
a,
need a producer, an assistant producer to your project, for your next album,
cool.
an assistant producer who can
Yeah, but
also
okay. I'd like to have the assistant producer, but
assistant producer.
the the producer must be a person that really believes in me, and not a person who take my money and do the 9 to 5 job. You know
Good.
what I
So
mean?
we're gonna make a little plan. We're gonna make a little plan next year. Not what am I talking about next year? Next month I'm supposed to be going to Leipzig, and I have some projects there. But I know that over the summer, I look. I have many different things going on, and I think a lot of them are going to revolve around living in Europe. And me
Yeah.
being in Europe, I'm going to be able to come down to Italy and visit you for maybe a few weeks or whatever you think is right, and we can work on making the Thomas Libero album or the Libero Goldfinger project or whatever, like however you want to
Yeah.
do it. I mean, because the thing is, like, I love making music. Like, for me, that's the ultimate. I even have a song that I want to show you where I want to get your opinion because it doesn't have lyrics yet, and it's, you know I'd like to play for you. But anyway, there's a lot of stuff to do, a lot of stuff. I hope we can work together. I mean, I know we can. There's no question about that. But I hope that you be interested in doing something like that.
Yeah, and I hope the schedule will
We'll allow
be
it.
good for the,
We'll allow it.
will allow it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. Good. Good. And where are you? What part of Italy are you in?
I am in the northern part of Italy,
Hmm.
northern east, and I am in a very, you know, smart position, because I am basically near everything. I'm close to everything.
You're close to Germany
Because
too.
yeah, it's not so far. And it's funny because I'm talking to you that you are an American. So for you, the distance is not your distance, your concept, your idea of distance is not mine.
Right.
Because for me, not for me, but for people going to Milan, which is I think 3 hours driving, 2 hours and a half driving, it's a really long distance. But I think that if you want to travel all around New York, I don't know, maybe in 2 hours you get to the other, to the
No,
other street.
I would say in New York City, it's because of the traffic that everything takes so long to get around. And
Yeah,
I mean, once you get to the city, you could spend half an hour or an hour, 2 hours looking for parking. So, I mean,
yeah,
that's the problem there. But nowadays, because of the pandemic, people aren't rushing to go into the city. People are trying to get out of the city and go
okay.
upstate and move upstate and things like that. That's what I heard. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I
It's
mean,
the same
how's yeah,
thing here.
yeah.
It's the same thing here because, I lived in a place in the mountains, which it was so good because I was alone in this little city, in this little, house, and I had my studio. I could work on everything alone without any problems. And you know, when the pandemic started, everything changed because all the people from the hills, they say like that,
The rural
um,
areas.
yeah, started to come to the mountains. I don't know how, and the results was that um, in the mountains there were so many areas full of COVID. So I think I don't want to say it's stupid, but you can't run away from the pandemic because it's everywhere.
Yeah. Have you gotten the
Actually,
vaccine?
no, here in Italy we are so slow to get the vaccine, and the the first ones to get the vaccines were the older people, but not the 60, the 50. I'm talking about the uh, 80
70
and
and
more.
80, yeah, more. Yeah.
Yeah, 70 and 80 and more. And then all the people that work in the in the hospitals and in the police or something like that. But uh, I think that I will get my my shot. I think
Last, last in line.
last and in I think 2023.
I gotta tell you, I love your
Because
shirt. Your shirt is fantastic.
oh, thank you.
He-Man.
It's yeah, you get it. Yeah, I was born in the 90s, so I had the luck to see all those cartoons. It's great.
Growing up in the
And
80s
yeah,
in America, we got to see all, I mean, that was like right, happening at the time. That
I
was,
know, I know.
that's very lucky.
Yeah, yeah. Italy has always been, the so late in getting American stuff. If you think
But you got
about
it.
the, huh?
But you
What?
got it.
Yeah, but uh, try to think to at the rock scene, you got all the hair metal bands, Warrant, Winger, and Poison, and we started to have those kind of bands in the 90s, in 92, 93, 94. All the people were going on the streets with big hair and Jackson guitars or Charvel guitars, and well, it lasted I think 6 months from the first part of '93 to the second to I think June of '93, the hair metal scene here, because we were getting grunge too, you know, and basically the alternative rock scene in Italy, which is very popular still to this day with a lot of bands, started, you know, when grunge came here, because Nirvana were so big here.
Mm.
Still to this day, there's a kind of a, you know, there's a nostalgia more for the '90s than, you know, for the '80s.
Now,
Now,
in
but
2021.
yes, 2021, yes, 30 years ago. Do you remember when you you were used to say 30 years ago, and it
I
was the
never,
'70s?
I mean, yeah, 30, I thought 30 years ago is the 70s. That, or
Yeah, me
30 years
too.
ago, well, I mean, it was the 60s or something like this. You know, I mean, like,
Yeah,
yeah. Being born in 79, you know, I was lucky to get to enjoy a lot of the things from the 80s growing up in America because, like, you know, we had cinema, I mean, music. It was, but everything was so violent and so loud. And it's just like,
yeah,
it was really an attack on the senses. But I'm glad that now people are thinking more about the 90s than the 80s because the 80s was really like a time of like just too much cocaine and you know
mm,
just people acting like monsters and thinking it's okay. I mean, especially like the Wall Street era, like the film Wall Street. You know, there's this
yeah,
line that says "greed is good," and people took that. People took that as like a real thing, and then we had you know, Trump for president. So anyway, it doesn't
yeah.
matter.
Well, I think that the '80s were, you know, a really big big time, big, I don't know, I don't want to call, yes, era, you know, an era, a big era, because here in Italy everybody could make money, I want to say easily, in the '80s, and now they are the same people that, you know, maybe made a lot of money without so much effort, and they say to me or my generation that we don't want to work.
Mm.
You know, I don't know if it's the same in your country, but
It seems like now nobody wants to do anything. Everybody has
yeah,
PTSD, everybody has ADHD, everybody has some
yeah,
sort of diagnosis, everybody has anxiety. I mean, well, actually, that's true. I mean, everybody has anxiety because it's like we had some serious shit to deal with. But I would say that for the most part, nowadays, nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to do anything. And it's very
yeah.
hard to get people to do things nowadays. But when they do it for you, it's really a blessing. But yeah, I'm happy.
I
I'm
don't
happy
know.
to have my crew, my team that I have today. It's growing. I have people now in Mexico who are helping me with the show and everything like that. And um, it's a good thing. So it's growing. It's expanding. And I don't have any money to pay anybody, so I have to find volunteers and people who are like really into, what I'm doing, what we're doing, and this sort of thing. And yeah, so it's been hard to find people, but when you find the people, it's really a godsend. It's like building a team is really really important, and being in the
Yes,
music industry, you have to have a team of people around you who are really reliable and people that you trust, because we're people who do this altruistically. We don't do this because of the money. We're not doing this for the money. We do this because we love to do it. There's no other reason. So yeah, that's
yeah, I agree, because, you know, I fought a lot to find the right people to work with, because for me music, it's a job too, because it's the only thing I do. So for me, it's always been hard to find people to trust, because, you know, when when people start to work on music, there's this little thing that comes out called ego.
Sometimes not a little
And
thing.
yeah, and so I'm blessed to have such an amazing team who works with me, because I wrote the songs, I write the songs, I sing the songs, I play all the instruments in the songs. But I have a person who mixed it, I have a person who mastered it, I have a person that is telling me every day, well, you shouldn't do that, I think that this is better than this. And
Producer.
when it's, yes, but when it's your bandmates, you you'll never listen to their opinion so much, because maybe the guitar player is telling you that you shouldn't sing that line because he wants to put his solo on that line. But I'm okay with my team. We are basically 4 or 5 people, if you count the video maker too, and they're great.
Definitely got to
They're
count the
great.
video maker. You have to count the video maker.
Yeah, sure,
The one who
sure.
makes it look so good.
Yeah. Because and I'm very hard to work with, because I've never liked I never liked myself on the photos, on the videos. So I'm always there trying to take um, 100 thousands of pics
Takes, yeah.
to choose the 3 pics I like. So I I'm not I'm not an easy person, but I'm a good person. So I'm not the kind of artist that today I don't feel inspired, so I won't work today. No, I work every day, and if I have a bad day, I won't uh, let it out to other people.
Well, that's wonderful. So it's okay to be a little bit vain
No,
sometimes,
I don't
or
want to call me. I don't
not
want to call
vain?
myself vain. I'm I'm insecure.
Really?
Yeah, a lot.
Because you're so great.
No, I I need to hear that I'm great so many times that I reach a point that I'm start thinking, okay, but he is kidding me.
No, well, what I want to do is now I want to tell everybody where they can find your music, and hopefully we can put it down there on the lower
Yeah.
thirds or something down. Anyway, um, yeah, we want to say, where can we find your music, Thomas?
Well, my music is basically everywhere,
Okay.
on every streaming or downloading platform, like Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Pandora, Deezer. I know that some of of the stores are not, allowed in some countries. I don't know. I don't know uh, which one of those stores, but you you just tip, Thomas Libero, and you find my music everywhere. I'm on social media too, and on Facebook, Instagram. I'm on Twitter too, but I, I don't get it.
I don't get it. I don't do it. I refuse to do it. I say I use Facebook like Twitter. Like sometimes I just put posts, just
Yeah.
but like I think Twitter's bad news.
Yes, true. And my main social media is Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram and if you write me on Instagram, I'm gonna answer you back 100%. On
I think
Facebook,
Facebook is the best to send stuff. No, or really because I had a lot of problems with Instagram. Like not only was it like difficult to, I mean, I don't know. I had problems with it, so I just stick to Facebook myself. But people can find you on Instagram.
yeah, but Facebook, I'm on Facebook. I have 2 pages. I have my private profile,
Mm-hmm.
which I use for friends like you and for the people that I talk with. So if you write
Industry
a message,
contacts.
yeah, or if you write me a message and you say, "Hi Thomas, do you remember I am that guy?" Huh? I can add you as a friend. But if you're just a person that I don't know, it's easier for you to find me on the page, which is basically the same as Instagram, because I I post the same thing
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram, and directly it goes to the Facebook page. And let's face it, Facebook is for is for the old people like us.
Is it for old people? So Instagram is for new. I mean, I had a lot of problems. The problems that I had with Instagram is that I was being followed by neo-Nazis and skinheads. So I said,
Oh
no
yeah.
mas.
Okay. Yeah, Instagram is it's always it's like it's the same thing I wanted to say. I was saying before, um, the good and the bad things. So Instagram is good because you can reach a crowd very easily, because you can follow people, you can send stuff to people, you can repost stories. But at the same time, if you can get a lot of hate, a lot of bad words and bad followings easily. But another good things of another good thing of Instagram is that people don't waste a lot of time on the comments, which happens on Facebook. On Facebook, especially in Italy, I don't know, every country has its own first social media. In Italy, for example, Twitter is not so big, because it's something that people use for politics,
Mm.
so it's not so big.
I
And
think it's a
Facebook,
terrible platform for politics. I mean, even though it is, I mean, it's, if the people that's what they're using it for,
yeah,
it's really bad. It's not good. It's not a good thing for the
yeah, but
society.
it's something where people put their thoughts, and they put but in I don't know how to explain, but they are never serious
Mm.
on Twitter. It's like that sarcasm.
Right. It's toxic sarcasm.
Yeah, toxic sarcasm, but the high level sarcasm,
Right.
you know that kind of sarcasm that people from the the highest universities used, that kind of thing. And Facebook is so big here, but it's bad because we are full of fake news. You can't even imagine how many fake news we get on Facebook every day.
But this is
And
where
people
people get their
basically,
news.
yeah, and people don't care about the music on Facebook, because I don't know, I think that social media now are not the they're not the best platform for music.
Mm.
Because if you want to listen to a song or see a video on Facebook, the quality is worse.
Hmm. So what would you
And
use then? What would be the go-to platform for music?
well, YouTube is great for me, because the video are in a really really good quality. Because if you upload a video in 4K, you're gonna see it in 4K in your mobile phone, which is great, I think. And the
Hmm.
audio is great. In fact, when I listen songs on Spotify, um, the quality is never, at least my songs, the quality is never as good as YouTube or Amazon Music.
Hmm.
But
Interesting.
those are musician stuffs, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I would tell people if they want to hear your music or my music, they just tell their device to play Thomas Libero or
Yeah,
Todd Goldfinger. And you're gonna
yeah,
have different kinds of music. You'll have the singer singer-songwriter kind, or the instrumental music for your drive?
Which is always a singer-songwriter, but you don't sing.
Right.
It's a bass songwriter.
Yes. Improvised
It's great
composition
because,
in real time.
yeah, your songs are like, are songs, and they tell us a story. They tell us the story of what you're feeling in that moment, and they're great.
Thank you.
There's a song. I'm so bad with titles, but the one you used for the Todd Goldfinger show, the intro.
Oh, A Rough Day at Sea.
Dun, 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 dun.
A Rough Day at
Amazing,
Sea, yeah.
beautiful,
Thank you.
beautiful. You're a great bass player.
Thank you.
And you know what they say here in Italy about the bass players?
What do they say?
That they are useless. In fact, the biggest job I had in my career so far was being a bass player. So I made more money playing bass than singing. Because, it's so hard to find a good bass player, or at least a bass player that, plays the right notes. Because you get, the extreme opposites, or the Sid Vicious kind of bass player, or the Billy Sheehan bass player.
Right.
At least here. Yeah. Playing, 20,000 notes per minute with the feet,
Right.
And I think that balance is the best thing ever, especially if you play with other people. If you're doing your solo stuff, you can do everything you want, but if you're playing with and for other people, you have to stick to the song.
Very good.
Oh, and sorry for my English.
Your English is fantastic. You have great English.
I'm just trying to not talk like that,
Hey, like that. Hey.
I don't want to talk like that because it sounds so Italian. I don't want.
Great. Okay, well, this has been a great meeting, discussion, interview, and lovely show. Is there anything else, anything that you'd like to tell the audience?
Okay, but well, first of all, thank you for inviting me again. Thank you. A big thank you to your audience, because I think that nobody would have known me before seeing me on that show. And of course, thanks to my fans. And this interview is great because I have a lot of fans from outside Italy, and when I do interviews in Italy, they're always listening, but they don't understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know why. Maybe they like my accent, or they like my voice. And so
It's the hair.
I want to dedicate this interview to all my foreign fans, and saying that I love them all, and I thank them all for all the support and the love they show me every day. Because when I started, I would have never imagined that I had come to a point where people from outside Italy, from America, from Japan, from India, from South America, Brazil. I'm really, it's terrific, because when I think that I have a fan base in Brazil, the 14-year-old in me, it's like, am I dreaming? And I'm still dreaming. That's the key. Dream big. Always
Keep
dream
dreaming.
big. So thank you all.
Thank you. Yes. Anyway.
Yes.
With
a skeleton t-shirt.
Skeletons. Anyway, I'm so glad that you decided to do this and that we did this show together. And hey, keep dreaming, dream big, and it's good to be realistic as well. But the more you can dream, the better it is sometimes. I mean, obviously you don't want to be dreaming while you're driving your car too much, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's the right time for the good dreaming, making things happen and
Yeah.
making your dreams come true.
And I think if I can say
Yeah.
one more thing, it's the difference between Italian or European, as far as my experience is, it's the difference between Italy and the United States is that positive thinking, the dream. Because when I hear all the interviews of my favorite bands or newcomer as well, I always feel that I'm in America, I'm gonna try it, I'm gonna give it all I got. But in Italy, it's like you start playing guitar and that you are never gonna get anything, which is sad. So I always, I
But we have
always
the
took that.
internet.
Yeah, so I always took that American way of thinking to Italy, and so far it's working so well.
Well, congratulations to that. And yeah, talk to you next time. Have a great
Thank you.
rest of your week. Take care, man. Thank you.
Take care. See you soon.
Ciao, man. Go ahead.
Okay, we were talking about the beauty of the internet.
The beauty of the internet and why it's so great for artists like us who can release our music worldwide so that everyone can hear it.
Yeah, yeah. If you let's face it, and let's be honest, if you are a newcomer, you you become from a weekend warrior, to I want to be a real musician. I want to play my songs and I want to release my song. And maybe you are under a record label, an indie record label or a small record label, and you put out a CD. How long does it take to people, to get to your music? I think 10, 20, 30 years. With the internet, you can release yourself a song which you believe in, on Spotify, or I don't know, maybe on Facebook, even on Facebook too. It's okay, and you can get your crowd, your fan base slowly, but I think faster than releasing a CD without any connection and any contact
Having
with
to
other
have a
people around.
manager, having to have a
Yeah,
record label.
yeah. That's why we are full of lost gems of the 80s, and it's great because all of those bands, all of those bands are coming out today on Spotify, on YouTube, because maybe the manager of that indie label is finding them on the web with the cassette tape. It's really fascinating. And yeah, that's the beauty of the internet, that even a young guy with without any record label or any manager or anything can release a song with a guitar and singing the song on the guitar, and can get to people.
Or not
And
even
maybe,
singing, and release music. Or release
yeah,
music without even singing. That's possible
yeah,
too.
yeah. I know one guy from New York that plays bass and releases his own music. Yeah,
I have more albums to release as well.
cool.
They're recorded and I just have to put them out. And I'm hoping that with the success of this show and with, working with people that I'm working with and doing stuff with Timo, thank God now things
Yeah,
worked out. Yeah, it's great. And things are getting better, and hopefully we're living in a digital age. Because we're dreaming in digital. You know that one, Orgy?
Oh,
The band Orgy. I love that song. It's great. Um, anyway, I just want to say that it is possible for any artists, any musicians out there to release their work, especially music. Today, what are some platforms that you use? Do you use like TuneCore or what's it called? Not GarageBand, Bandcamp or something like that? Or how do you release your music?
well, I use DistroKid
Okay.
for the digital platforms, and I sell my CDs on Big Cartel.
Mm-hmm.
But I printed my first EP and my last CD, a letter to me, and songs from the lockdown, volume 1.
Wow.
But I don't know. I don't know if in the future I'm gonna, print other works, because I don't
You
know.
mean print
I don't know.
CDs, like to actually have physical copies?
Yeah, the physical CD. Yeah. Maybe I'm talking to some labels in order to release some CDs, but basically the publishing, the main publishing, and the digital publishing um, are always mine. I control everything because I'm too jealous about my music.
It's good. Well, I mean, you have to be, smart about what you're doing
Yeah.
and, where you release it and how you release it and who gets it. I mean, with DistroKid, are you able to um, upload your artwork or does it have to be a certain size or like, are there, because I think that's where I got hung up on like Bandcamp was like, my artwork didn't fit the size of the thing and it's
Yeah,
just
you
like,
have to feel the square, but it's a simple thing. It's only because the Spotify and the iTunes and all the digital stores uh, want that kind of square and that
mm-hmm,
kind of artwork. But DistroKid is great because you can upload covers too.
mm-hmm.
You can have the lyrics on the stories of
Really?
Instagram. You can get songs on TikTok, which is very popular here in Italy now.
DistroKid, so this might be the thing to do.
And it's cheaper
How cheap
because
is
it's
it?
cheaper. It is, I think, the basic, um,
Like if
package
you want to
is
release one album, like one album of 12 songs, for
no, no, no,
example.
no, no. You
Oh,
don't pay for album. You pay for a year, and the basic package is $20, I think.
really?
Yeah, and you can release infinite songs.
Really?
Yeah, you only pay if you want, like $4 if you want that your songs get detected on YouTube, so you get money from YouTube, that kind of stuff. But basically, it's free. You pay $20 per year,
Hmm.
and you get all your songs on your on the digital stores, on every digital stores,
Yeah, that's
iHeart
great.
Radio, everything.
That's great. I was using TuneCore and that was like per release it's like 50
Yeah,
euros, I think. And the benefit of that was that I was able to upload my music and then I didn't have artwork, so they were able to sort of help me design artwork, or they gave like options for that, and then you can choose from those options what you want to
yeah,
use as your artwork. And I thought that to be great because I got stuck on that part, like with DistroKid and other, like maybe Bandcamp or something like this. I had a difficult time with it because my artwork didn't fit and I couldn't figure out how to do it after that. I just gave up. I was just so frustrated. So it's like that was a stumbling block for me, you know.
yeah. But if you have the artworks and all the stuff, you can go to DistroKid.
DistroKid.
It's really cheap. It's cheap, and it's fast. The quality of the songs are, the quality is good. And
And it goes out
for
everywhere.
now, for now,
Yeah.
I'm okay with DistroKid.
Yeah.
Well, the most important thing, you keep all the royalties. So if you sell a song, you pay taxes on that song. So if it's $1,
Mm-hmm.
you get 80 cents, which is great.
Yeah.
If you sell 1,000 copies, you get $1,000.
It's pretty good. You can buy some
Oh,
equipment,
and
new equipment.
yeah, that's great. And I think that you should go to DistroKid because you release many songs. So maybe
I just don't have artwork. That's the problem. In like, that's the worst part for me. If DistroKid had something where you can just design your own stuff, or at least resize it there. I mean, it wasn't accepting my artwork. It just wasn't the right size. So it's like
okay,
I couldn't
okay.
do it. So I went to TuneCore instead to release this stuff.
If you're okay with that, that's great.
It's okay. I mean, I don't make really very much money on it. I think I made $16, you know, on it last year. But you know, like it's just to have it out there, just so that people can hear
Yeah.
it and enjoy it. That's the reason I do it. I mean, I'm hoping to make money, you know, doing other things and film and stuff like that as well. But
Okay.
yeah, that's where it's at. But anyway, thank you for being on the show and thank you for doing the bonus material.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cheers,
Oh.
man.
Thank you.
Peace. See you.